And then you have Charles like, what the heck, man? Why can't we just stay out? We're getting lapped. I'm getting lapped because these people are serving penalties when I don't have to serve one. What was that? I was like, I've never felt more like a Ferrari fan. And like I like Charles. He's actually one of my other favorite drivers. But why? Why do I like both teams that are both like struggling? And it's not really even the teams itself, it's those certain people being, I don't know, man. I'm under
Just
too much
struggle
stress.
bus.
Okay, guys, welcome back to our F1 video. We have a lot to talk about, but then again, not a lot because what was that race?
Oh no, it will be a lot.
It'll be a lot, yeah. But we do have a setup. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on our post notifications so you don't miss any of our videos, especially our main videos. Our videos right now are kind of all over the place just because we're not doing Champions League anymore. Sometimes we don't have F1 videos. We are trying to do World Cup videos, but then again, we
That's
do
gonna
have a
be
live.
chaotic. Oh my god.
We do have a live stream this Friday. So if you don't want to miss that, again, like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and check out our links in the description below for our other social media pages because we will post about it on there. But before we get started with anything else, if you've never met us before, I am Julie. She is M. And welcome. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a crash out episode, so I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, this is gonna be a major crash out episode, I think. Especially more so for you than me, because, well, we'll get into it in a little bit. You guys will see why it's a crash out episode for Julie in a couple of minutes.
All I can say is the amount of text messages we have between each other during this race, most of the time it's just me saying, I hate this race.
She's not wrong. It is.
I tried to give it, but towards the end, I finally was like, what was that? But anyway, so last season's flashbacks is definitely going to be shorter than this season's news. But first things first, we have F1 and PepsiCo announced multi-year agreement until 2030.
However, I actually haven't seen much of this.
I know. I was going to be like, I forgot about that. Are we still doing it? But anyways, and then we have Danny Ricciardo will not be driving for Cadillac next year.
Yeah, well, he's not driving, period. So
he's actually with Ford now. And then we have Isack Hadjar crashing like a bajillion times in free practice. He has improved.
Oh, well, he still crashed in pre-practice.
I know. It's okay. But he didn't crash a bajillion times.
True, he only crashed once.
And then we have George double drive-through penalty for cutting corners to overtake Alex in lap 50.
No, it was because he cut the chicane to get by Alex. That's what it was.
Oh. Anyways, this season's news.
Right, so the Times 100 most influential people in sports lists dropped today. A couple that we know, like Lando, Kimi, and Susie Wolff, all got named to the list. So right now, McLaren are a team of balance. When I say this, I don't mean the strategy is balanced, the strategy is great. I don't mean the car is great. I mean, Oscar has finished on the podium twice. He's also finished off the podium twice. And he also has not started a race twice. Lando has 3 races completed and 3 races not completed / started. So that's what I mean when I say perfect balance. So you know the list of upgrades McLaren brought to Canada and Miami and how it was a whole butt ton of upgrades and how they didn't really work?
Yeah, no.
Well, they are going to run that same front wing because they want to develop it further in free practice. And then for the race and qualifying, they're going to go back to the old wing. I don't know how that helps them, but
No.
sure.
Go ahead.
Sure. And then Alpine have lodged a formal complaint about the results of one of their drivers from this past weekend because of the pit lane penalties that were announced. The hearing for this will be held on Thursday in Barcelona at 1 p.m. local time. So this episode obviously is coming out before that. So you can look to our social media pages, see if we posted anything about that. Our next thing is kind of like not really technical, but Kim Kardashian made her paddock appearance. I just want to say that she's getting a lot of like backlash for her whole snub of Martin Brundle and whatever. However, I can't hate her for it because I would do the same thing. Like, I know some people are like, "Oh, but it's Martin Brundle, you gotta talk to him." Well, I'm sorry, but I find him a little bit annoying, so I would also do the same thing that she did and turn away and stop talking to him. But that's just me, guys. That's just me. No hate.
I will say though, another thing about Kim is girl has never been to an F1 race because what do you mean she stole Kimmy's towel from his
Yeah,
little podium? And I was like, okay. And then Kimmy getting her back by spraying her with champagne, I thought was hilarious.
yeah, well, you know, to be fair, like, it's not like, you know, she made a huge noise or crowd or anything about it. Like, even Lewis pulled her aside and she just stood there and didn't really, you know, she's not looking around for attention or anything. So it's like, why are you. She's obviously not doing it on purpose. Like, she doesn't know. So, I don't know. People are divided over it. I'm not. And I'm not a Kardashian fan whatsoever. I just. I'd do the same thing if I were her. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, while we're talking about Kim and Lewis and Ferrari, so here's the technical part that Julie might not get. So Ferrari are using different braking components on each of the cars. Charles's setup is different to Lewis's setup, but that's not the only thing that's different. Lewis is actually using Carbon Industries braking components, which is the company that he used while he was at Mercedes. And then Charles is using Brembo. But Brembo recently gave upgraded components to their brakes at the Canadian Grand Prix, which is where we really first saw Charles starting to struggle with the braking. However, we know last season Lewis was complaining about the braking, and then towards the end of the season, Charles kind of said a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And this was part of the reason why Charles, kind of spoiling the rest of the video here, but crashed because he was unable to have full faith in the brakes and that they were going to slow him down enough. And because of this, Lewis has outqualified Charles 5 out of 9 times, and he's on a 3-race outqualifying streak. So that's not great. And then Brembo actually put out a statement earlier today about the brakes, and apparently this has been happening to a few other cars that they have braking components on, specifically Haas. So it's a little bit rough. But our last thing to round out this season's news is that apparently Red Bull Ford has been identified as the most powerful engine unit, which, we've all been saying it's the Mercedes unit. Well, no. Recent tests have found that it's Red Bull. However, Red Bull is trying to dispute this findings because not only would this mean Mercedes then have one ADUO to use for their engine to bring one upgrade this season, Red Bull would also get none. And on top of that, you haven't seen the Red Bull unit do consistently as good as the Mercedes unit has. So it's kind of like, oh no, this isn't good. But apparently, Ferrari is 6 to 8% behind Red Bull, which is even worse than what we thought the gap between Mercedes and Ferrari was. So, but we will continue our episode. We will do our Monaco recap. So in FP1, we had Isack crashing at the swimming pool chicane yet again, as we may have foreshadowed earlier. We also had red flags for debris on track from Fernando's front wing, but overall pretty normal FP1. Charles was on top, Lewis in second, and Max in third. On to FP2, we had McLaren being faster than Audi by 0.006 of a second. Lando's car was just straight up powering off in the middle of his lap, which was great. This also resulted in the team breaking curfew in order to attempt to repair the car, which I'm not happy about because we can only break curfew twice, I think. So we used one here early in the season, and I'm not thrilled about it, but whatever. And then Checo's brakes caught on fire, and that led to a red flag yet again, so that wasn't great. And that was not the only fire of Cadillac's weekend. Our top three for FP2 was Lewis, Charles, and Max again. On to FP3. Back with Cadillac again. Valtteri Bottas has smoke coming from his brakes, so he goes into the pit lane and retires the car for this session. Franco ended up clipping the barrier and spinning around. He was able to continue and bring the car back. Charles, our foreshadowing from earlier, having problems and struggling with his brakes. So our top three for FP3 was Kimi, Charles, and Lewis. Our qualifying order, our first five out was Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, Oliver Behrman, Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon, and Gabriel Bortoleto. Next five was Arvid, Franco, Nico, Carlos, and Alex. And then our Q3 results, we had Liam in 10th, Pierre in 9th, Lando in 8th, Oscar in 7th, George in 6th, Isack in 5th, Charles in 4th, Lewis in 3rd, Max in 2nd, and Kimi on pole. And really, this was just pretty much a fight between Max and Kimi for whatever random reason. And honestly, you guys know I'm not really a Max fan, but I was really hoping that he was gonna get pole here, and he didn't. So.
Yeah, that was basically like my honestly, like my preview to what the race was gonna be like. I should have known that I was not gonna have a good race. And speaking of the race, let's get started. So first things first, we have lap 1. We do our formation lap, green light, everyone's going, and you have Max just sitting there, just barely going. He actually he starts to go, but he kind of goes into the wall almost, very slowly. He's struggling, and initially they just have him box, and he never really starts the race. I guess you could say he was like a DNF and DNS at the same time. Like he didn't finish the
Yeah.
race, but he didn't really start it. But after that situation, we have Kimi, who's still in the lead, Lewis following, Charles behind him, and then Isack behind him with George behind him. So that was your kind of starting to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Top 5?
Sure. Yeah. And then we have Pierre manages to overtake Lando shortly after the start. So kind of in the middle, you see that situation happen. It's all because Oscar and Lando almost make contact. And because of that, Lando has to move. And that just leaves Pierre space to go. And then literally nothing really happens up until like lap 28. To be honest, lap 28, Kimi builds a 10-second gap between Isack. George is putting pressure on Isack. So technically, our top 3 right now is Kimi, Isack, and George Russell. Lap 29, we had some mid-race pit stops from Lewis, which led to a 5-second penalty for him speeding in the pit lane. And then about a couple laps later, in lap 32, George pits with a 2.5-second penalty. Not penalty, pit stop, and then, well, he does get a penalty for speeding, but we'll talk about that in a second. Lap 33, Isack makes his pit stop, and then we have the 5-second penalty from George for speeding in the pit lane. Then lap 45, Alex Albon pits, and that's when we get the news that Lando Norris has to box because he has to retire the car.
Because it was his power unit again, right?
Mm-hmm. I can't handle this. But on the plus side, man was happy to get out of that race. In a post-race interview, he's like, yeah, no, I'm pretty happy. Didn't want to be there. I don't blame him. So he was caught on one of the yachts chilling, I think, and then Max Verstappen, fun fact, was on his yacht doing racing sims. So they were having a fun time either way.
Well, we know Lando was really having a fun time, if you
yeah,
catch my drift. Quite
at least he
literally
was
catch
happy.
my drift.
And then we have lap 60, Lance in the wall, and then a yellow flag is out. Then the safety car is out. Lap 61 to 62, and honestly, to almost 65, we have all these pit stops. Lewis takes his penalty pit stop. He gets new tires, but Charles has to park behind him. And Charles is not happy. Charles would rather stay out and doing more laps with the safety car than pitting. And you hear that over. And honestly, maybe he should have just stayed out. But all in all, some rough pit stops from other ones. I think Mercedes had some rough pit stops, and I think George wasn't happy he had to pit, or someone wasn't happy, everyone wasn't happy, pretty much. And then we had the drive-through penalty for George, failing to serve his original penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Yes, sorry.
So the first time George came in, he actually wanted to serve the penalty. Mercedes told him no. So it's Mercedes' fault that he got that drive-through penalty.
Oh, I know he was mad.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have lap 65 to 66. The restart that ended in basically no start. In seconds, we have them all racing, and then Charles into the wall. It went from green to yellow so fast. Charles DNF. He could not finish the race.
That Lance hit the wall.
Yeah. And then Gasly gets another penalty on top of the one he already has, and he is mad. I think, did he have 3? 4? He had 4 penalties?
No. That's 4 5-second penalties right there.
Oh.
That was mentioned. But he had 2, so then that brought him up to 10 seconds that he had to.
Oh, yeah, I know. He got
then
another one.
He had 2 after.
I feel you, Gasly. And then lap 71, we have our second restart after everyone just chilling until they could clear the track because of Charles' wreck. Yes.
They actually red flagged it because of the track in that area. And so that's what led to the restart. And it's not a normal restart because they did it like the start of the race where everyone pulled up the grid boxes.
Yeah, okay. Kimi maintains lead. George is having some issues with his car as well, but I think he ended up finishing the race anyways. Or did he not? He DNF'd.
No, he finished, but he didn't have any
problems. He finished, okay. Maybe he wasn't having problems, but there was mention of him having issues with his car slowing down, but that's whatever. And then we have poor Carlos. double damage. Honestly, he gets damage from Nico, and then a little bit later he gets tapped by Franco, which sends him
Literally the
turning
next
around.
corner, yeah.
Yeah, so Carlos had a rough time. And then we have lap 73. Isack gets noted for a red flag infringement. I don't know what really happened with this one. I know he got the penalty and it just dropped him, but it didn't drop him enough that would get rid of his spot, honestly, in the lead.
No, they cleared him of the penalty.
Oh, they did? Okay. Again, I don't know. Like, they didn't tell me in the highlights.
Yeah, well, it was way after the race. Because they said
Okay.
investigation after the race.
Okay, cool. See, this is why it ends here. And then we have lap 78. Kimi takes victory with Lewis in second, Hadjar in third. This is Kimi's 5th win in a row. And then literally right at the end, we get a note about Checo's parking up along the grid box, which led to a penalty. He got a 10-second penalty for the incident. It dropped him from 10th to 15th. So that's the race. Here's again the podium results. Kimi in first, Lewis in second, and Isack in third. From 4th to 10th, we had Oscar, Liam, Arvid, Pierre, Alex, Esteban, and Fernando. And then we have 11th through 15th, we had Gabby, George, Nico, Franco, and Checo. We would have gotten a Cadillac's first F1 points if not for the 10-second penalty, like I mentioned before. And then here are all our DNFs. We have Max Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, Ollie Behrman, Lando, Stroll, Charles, and Carlos. I didn't see anything about Ollie. What happened with Ollie?
They just boxed to retire the car. I honestly don't know what happened there.
Dang,
I would
sucks.
imagine it has to do with the brakes.
Probably, because it's, yeah, okay. But that is our race recap. Let's just say I have never been more frustrated listening to a race. One, because I couldn't watch it because I was driving. But two, just being like, I just remember them going, yeah, and so, Lando, we're gonna box. And I was like, what? And then, Charles. I did not enjoy that. Oh, and Carlos getting, I hated that. 10 out of 10. Don't ever want to watch that race again. That was
We do not recommend watching the Monaco 2026 Grand Prix.
You heard it right here. Don't do it. If you haven't seen it, just Google the results. That's all you need to know. Even then, you don't want to know it. Just let's move on. But now to our leaderboard.
Yes, so the reason why Julie is upset about Charles and Lando, well, her race predictions for the Monaco Grand Prix, she had Charles in first and Lando in second and Lewis in third. So that's kind of why I had Lewis winning, Charles in second, and George in third. We both got 1 point because of Lewis, so Julie's on 37 points and I'm on 27 points. We're still 10 points apart. So yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, like we had joked around last week about her putting Max on, and had he not DNF'd, it was really looking like Max was gonna make the podium, and I was gonna tease her for it, and now I can't because he DNF'd.
My prediction was right. I was like, he could have an issue, and he did. So I'm sorry to you Max fans. I kind of probably jinxed him, but it's fine.
Well, see, this is why I didn't put Charles in first, because I'm like, something's gonna happen. Oh, anyways, our Barcelona Grand Prix, because there's 2 races in Spain this year, so I can't say the Spain Grand Prix. So, our Barcelona Grand Prix. The first Grand Prix that was in Spain was held in 1991. This will be a total of 66 laps. The lap distance is 4.657 kilometers. The race distance is 307.236 kilometers. The lap record was set last year by Oscar. The time is 1 minute 15.743 seconds. And last year's podium was Oscar, Lando, and Charles. But I have a little caveat to add here. So we have some drivers doing the young driver participant, whatever you want to call it, sessions. And that will be at Barcelona. So we have Fred Vesti, who will be in for Kimi, Luke Browning, who will be in for Alex, Leonardo Fornaroli will be in for Lando, and Colton Herta will be in for Checo. And Fornaroli and Herta will be making their F1 session debuts. So we'll have to see. Hopefully none of them wreck the car, but if Fred wrecks Kimi's car, will I be very upset about that? But I love Fred, so I hope he doesn't do that. A little bit of damage. But now we will move on to our race podium predictions.
I was really hoping that this race would build my confidence. It did not.
But it's Monaco. There's no overtaking or anything that happens here.
I would love to say that helped me, but with their cars,
no.
I really don't want to put Kimi on the podium. No lie, I am so proud of this kid, okay? Good, it's impressive that he's won 5 races in a row. But I don't want him to win another and I want to put Lando up there, but his car is so unreliable right now, and it doesn't look like they're fixing anything. They're just trying new things, which isn't helping. And Oscar is kind of 50-50. He's been doing okay, but he could have an awful week. And Charles, the brakes. I don't know. Max is having issues with his car. I don't know if I should put him up there. George, he just kind of gets messed up. Your only plausible answer is to just put Kimi in first, but I don't want to. I really don't want to. And everyone else is a wild card. Isack, that was kind of a wild card. Was not expecting that.
Well, with all the DNFs.
It was, yeah. Maybe if I put Kimi in first, he won't win. I'm gonna put Kimi in first.
I like your logic.
I don't want to be wrong and not get any points from this, but I'm just trying something. I am gonna put I'm gonna put Oscar in second.
Okay.
Try McLaren out. Maybe if I put Oscar up there, maybe Lando will. I don't know. And then I really don't want to put Lewis up there either. I hate this F1 season. Oh my god, I hate this F1 season. Max?
I don't hate that podium, honestly.
Okay, that is my podium prediction, and it's probably gonna give me heartburn.
Imagine you get it all. Oh, brother. I am going I'm going George because we have to have a Mercedes win, I think. Oh my gosh. Second, I am going to go. You know what? You went McLaren. I'll go McLaren. I'll put Lando in second.
I respect that.
And third, I'm gonna go Lewis again.
Okay.
Oh, I have all Brits! Dang, I didn't try that.
I do not. I have the World Cup.
Well, I mean, if we're being technical, Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, Kimi. That is our podium predictions. I hope you enjoyed that. I did not. If you want to watch more of our podium predictions, go check out our other videos or subscribe and look out for our other videos that are coming out sometime this year, you know? You get to watch us panic more. And then let us know in the comments any of your podium predictions or how your podium prediction went for this last race. Or any thoughts you had about these penalties, or if you're a Ferrari fan, were you 50-50? What's going on? And then we do have a live stream this Friday around 9 something. We're gonna be talking about. I think we're watching the USMNT game, right?
Yep.
So if you want to see our reactions, keep a lookout for it. Go check out our links in the description below for our other social media pages where we post things, we talk about things, and we repost things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video.